morning, good evening, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. My name's Katie O. This is Moon Mama Musings. Welcome back to my living room for another astrology, people. For today, the 14th of October, 2021, with a waxing gibbous moon in the sign of Aquarius as of 3:48 a.m. Bangkok time. So we have the moon has gone into an air sign, Aquarius, the fixed air sign, and the sun has gone into the sun is already in Libra. So we have air on air, which is a little bit of a swirly, whirly, cyclone, tornado-y kind of an energy, my friend. It's a little bit volatile. It's a little bit flighty. It's a little bit up in the air, all right? Maybe what I heard is maybe that barn that we've been raising might get ripped right off its foundation if we've been ignoring the inspector's advice or if we've been whatever. I'm hearing that we might be feeling a little bit one step forward, two steps back right now. Yeah, maybe this twister is just going to pick up whatever is going on and move it all away from us. Or is it all just a dream? Is it all just a dream? Getting very Wizard of Oz vibes from today. You know, did Dorothy actually go to Oz, or was it just a really fantastical dream from a head trauma? Yeah, this is up to you. That's the nature of the air energies, my friends. It's very, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's just a dream. Maybe it's all just a dream. Who knows? It's gonna be different for each of you. All right, let's talk about the transits. Or the aspects. We got 3, and it's really interesting because it's like this. There's this vibe right now of a very unlikely group of friends coming together. Yeah, because we have aspects, 3 different things going on with 3 different planets. The Moon, Venus, and Saturn are all hanging out. Okay, Moon and Venus. Okay, maybe you could see how they could like have a girls' night. Yeah, but the Moon is such a watery. The subconscious and the emotional body is it's a very fluid feminine energy, whereas Venus can be a very warrior-like feminine energy. So it's like the two opposites of the spectrum with regards to feminine energy. So they may be unlikely friends in the first place, but then there's Saturn interminates, and you're like, what is dad? What is the strict father doing hanging out with the ladies? You know, it's like throwing a girls' night, and you've got your girlfriend's boyfriend there doing a face mask too. I don't know. It's very. It actually kind of reminds me in a funny way of the dynamic between me and my best friend and her basically husband. It's we laughed that it's like a funny tricycle because Lex and I are basically the same person with very 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 like we've got very similar inner workings with very different exteriors, and then Steve just kind of has to like deal with this. But it's like nuts and gum together at last. If some of you guys are Simpsons fan, they seem really unlikely. All of this seems like it should not work out together, but somehow it really does create really interesting feminines, or very interesting dynamic, very interesting harmony, very interesting. It works. It works. Somehow it works. Somehow it just works. Feminine energies combining with the highest form of masculine energy in some way. Just it's like okay, yeah, I don't know why it works, but it does. All right, so let's talk about this. First, we have the moon in conjunction with Saturn. Okay, so Saturn is invasion of the body snatchers with regards to this feminine subconscious energy. Saturn is direct now, and it's kind of keeping to itself, right? It's gone back into its little cave to do what it does. Yeah, it's in the sign of Aquarius, which still means that it's like innovative, and it's still, it's got this very humanitarian vibe to it nowadays. I feel it's gone into that humanitarian side of Saturn. Humanitarian side of Aquarius. And it's now the moon is coming to like watch the master at work in its craft. It's like watching the watchmaker. It's like Saturn has got this very, very specific knowledge, this very specific craft. It's very dexterous work. It's very delicate work. And the moon is coming in to observe it doing what it does. Yeah. it's almost like coming to terms with the way the karmic wheel turns, watching the karmic master play with the ebb and flow of the energy that makes everything balance. And our subconscious, our emotions are getting getting a greater understanding for how all of this working goes. The moon in Aquarius is also in a sextile with Venus in the sign of Sagittarius. Sorry, what did I say here? I mixed myself up. The moon in the sign of Aquarius is in a sextile with Venus in the sign of Sagittarius. This is a collective benefiting Venusian energy, encouraging us to bring a higher love into the efforts that we're making. Bring me a higher love. There's a beautiful version of that song by, what's his name? Vincent McMorrow? I can't remember. The same guy that does that version of the Wicked Game that I always love. He does a version of Higher Love that's stunning, and I heard it as soon as I saw this, Venus and the Moon. It was, bring me a higher love. It's like we know that there is this greater, with Venus in the sign of Sagittarius, it's that feminine energy with regards to the benefit of the collective. Yeah, it's like making our own personal goals that we know are going to bleed into the benefit, to benefit a larger group. It's like we this is this humanitarian vibes of Aquarius is bringing in this collective Sagittarius Venus abundant energy. Maybe so just keep on pouring your good intention, and it solidifies further healing that we've been doing. This weird little tricycle, this weird triangle that's going on today is really helping. It's a very like sextiles, right? Sextiles and conjunctions. So it's about putting on a new face, but also healing at the same time. It's about putting on maybe something that's unlikely, being in maybe an uncomfortable, not used to, or like not habitual sort of a way, but that does a lot of healing for us, that does a lot of innovation, that does a lot of growing. And I'm hearing that we're working with a large group to innovate the emotional resonance here. So maybe there's a large group of people all kind of working towards the same thing, that are making a collective heart resonance right now. I'm really getting that. The Venus for me is often about the heart chakra. It throws, when we're looking at the head, the heart, and the home, I can throw the moon, Venus into that kind of heart vibe. Actually, no, let me rephrase that. Sorry, the moon is the heart vibe, and that. No, you know what? Scrap what I was saying all before. It's all together. They're all little bits of each other. That's it. We've been working too much to keep things divided before, and now we're realizing that everything just really blends together. All of these energies, these polarities of our femininity with this higher masculine energy, it's all the same. It's all the same. It all bleeds into the same thing, and it helps us make this higher heart resonance, that help us resonate with other people, that help us become part of a group, become part of a community, become part of a collective, but in a greater, higher love kind of way. All right? Put yourself where you're meant to be in that energy. I know it's kind of, but it is. It's important. And now we have finally, the moon is also sextiling Saturn. Or sorry. My God, what's wrong with me today? Mercury retrograde, mashed potato mouth. It's about to come out of retrograde, so I guess it's going to challenge us for these last few days. I did get very tense energy when I started looking at it, and then as I looked at it, I realized that it wasn't so tense. Maybe it's just that it's charged. It's charged energy. It's not tense. It's charged. But with Venus sextiling Saturn, we are really understanding this karmic wheel, and it's helping us to come to terms with everything that's been going on. It's helping us bring more abundance, bring higher love. All of these energies, it's like three different things that basically are saying the same thing. The moon, Venus, and Saturn are hanging out together. Okay, they may be an unlikely group. They may be an unlikely friendship, but somehow they are balancing them out, balancing each other out in a really, really, really beautiful way. A really, really beautiful way. It creates harmony. Nuts and gum together at last. Might be unexpected, but it is. It's just perfect. Maybe for a long time you were looking for, I'm hearing some of you guys were looking for one specific counterpart. It's like you knew that something was missing in your life, and you were seeking it to come from one source. But you're realizing now that your desires will be better satisfied if you seek in different places. If you spread the quota of energy to come to you out amongst a few different sources, you're going to have better chances of actually finding your fulfillment. if that makes sense. And no, I'm not necessarily saying, oh, go and date 7 people at the same time. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that maybe, okay, if we're looking at it in terms of love, we're looking at it in terms of romance, maybe it's like before when you were dating, you were hoping that you were going to find someone that would just do everything for you, that would be your best friend, that would be your lover, that would be your mother, that would be your partner, that would be your, like, that would just literally fill in all of these necessary roles that you need available to you to delegate tasks to make the greater machine work better. Yeah. You were hoping to be able to just keep it simple and have only one thing come in and just satisfy all those needs. But you're beginning to realize that that was an unrealistic expectation, because you do know that you feel better when you've got a few more hands at play. Whatever that means for you. All right? It's an unlikely trio, but it works, and it's really nice, and you're liking it. All right? Careful with this energy, though, because for this to work, I'm hearing everybody needs to be on the same page. Yeah, it's really important. I'm hearing a 3 of Cups energy can be super productive if all 3 cups are willing to collaborate, and it needs to be an equilateral triangle. All right, it can't be isosceles. Okay, there can't be 2 sides that are. There's a delicate balance here. It's a delicate balance, and they're saying just that's all that needs to be said. So I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to get a card of the day here from the Threads of Fate Oracle. Today is the 14th, and I will be over on Instagram already, so I'm going to just keep this brief as far as the card of the day goes. But, consistency's sake. Can we please have one? I know I'm shuffling weird. One card, please. What do we got? I might have to cut the deck today. Surely you guys have something to say. Come on. Did I choose the right deck? Okay, let's take that one. The Sage. Interesting, the Sage. So there's these 2 wands crossing, and there's teeth dangling from them, and there's the moon here. So yeah, we've got these 3 energies. Sorry, itchy nose. Let's read it from the book. Let's see what it has to say. Something about this. 108. The Sage encourages you to see things from a higher perspective. Bring me a higher love. Sage love teaches others, but knows when and when not to share their thoughts with others. They save their energy and their wisdom for those who can truly value and integrate it. We may feel passionate about what we're saying. We also might, but we also must follow. We may feel passionate about what we're saying, but we also must allow for individual responsibility. Healthy Sage encourages us to share our wisdom, but do so in a way that empowers others. Sage respects that everyone is where they are supposed to be in their process. They do not teach from a place of ego. The Sage calls you to tap into the wisest part of yourself. This card serves as an invitation to explore yourself without judgment or shame. Simply be and see what you find. It's also an invitation to bring the wisdom that you have found in your reflecting to others. Sage asks, what are you here to teach? What is your message? Sage is all about exploring the internal landscape and finding truth. They're not attached to outcomes and simply want to see everything for what it is, rather than manipulating the external. Balanced Sage is a pillar in their community. They are in service to others, but not for their own ego, and they often do a lot of behind the scenes. Their ability to affect change is widespread, but others may not notice it. Unbalanced Sage energy can include heavy criticism, a dogmatic disposition, being controlling, and manipulation. They may disregard their students' feelings and experiences and think that only they are right. Sage at its worst thinks there's nothing left to learn because they know it already. This is a constant theme that has been coming up. They have been warning us for about a week to not get too caught up in your cockiness, not be like, I already know everything, I don't need a teacher anymore. They're calling you to be balanced. Yesterday's messages from the bag of tricks in the Peephole was about a teacher and about constructive criticism. So they're saying that maybe that criticism came in yesterday, threw you off balance, but they're calling you to understand that this is bringing a higher love into your perspective. That criticism was not meant to throw you off, like I mentioned. It was meant to make you understand that you are a sage and that you have a greater understanding of all of these things. Yeah, I'm hearing it's like pulling teeth sometimes, but you are able to stay balanced. Universe, your guides, your ascended masters, whatever it is, that the energies around you are trying to keep you in this balanced state, trying to keep you into the state of knowing, the state of humanitarianism, this innovative Aquarius style, working for the greater good, understanding that your place is only one small cog in a larger machine. And they don't want you to get cocky. They don't want you to get egotistical. They don't want you to try and manipulate the situations for your sole benefit. They want you to work in a team, even if it's an unlikely team. These two, this is showing me that isosceles triangle again. These two ones here with the teeth jangling off them might be different than the moon, but they still work in harmony together, all right? It's very important. What's under the deck here? Nature. Yeah, some of you guys have to get grounded. All right, I'm hearing some of you guys have really, there was a message the other day about when you long for something, it's a warning sign from the universe that you need to ground it. Some of you didn't heed that warning. Some of you just kept on going, and that's why this cyclone energy today might very well rip the house right out of the foundations. Or maybe you're just having a bad dream that's what's happening. Okay, but either way, there is some sort of a warning coming in here. And you put yourself where you're meant to be. Okay, just before I find this funny, because just before I was working, as I was taking my notes about today's astrology, I was listening to that, I decided to put on that Higher Love by James Vincent Thingabobby. And then afterwards, it naturally went into the song Bloom by Paper Kites. Can I be close to you? Ooh, ooh. Can I write it in a letter? Should I try and get it down? 'Cause you fill my head with pieces of a song I can't get out. Weak and bloom. All right? There is this thing blooming within you, but it's still a weak thought. It's still not fully formed. It's still not a full-blown flower. See, there's only petals at the top and the bottom. It's still not fully in all its glory. And they're saying just to be careful of this. Yes, there's beautiful energies coming to fruition, but don't pick them before they're actually ready, before all the petals are fully formed. Do not pick that flower, because then you just get a weird gimpy one. Yeah, it's not going to last as long as if you really do allow this to fully come to fruition. They're asking you to have a little more patience. Choose to change and open up. Okay? You've been shut off and closed down for some time. These energies today are really, really, really reminiscent of yesterday's people. If you've not seen it, go back and look at it. Choose to change. Open up that door, okay? You've been really resistant. You were 7 of Wands, and yesterday the 7 of Wands was in reverse. Choose that, okay? They called you yesterday to do it. Pluto yesterday said, all right, this is the directives. What are you going to do with it? And today it's almost like where we are weighing the options, right? We are trying to figure out. This showed me a 2 of Wands energy, right? Maybe even a 2 of Swords with, like, I can't hear you. My eyes are shut. Not wanting to make a decision because you don't feel like you have all the information yet, or you don't have the right mindset about it, but knowing that you have to weigh the pros and cons right now. And maybe you're having this bad dream about what could happen if you don't act on this, but you know that you do have to act on it. So choose to change now. This dream that you've had is meant to trigger you back into actually choosing to change, actually choosing what you want. Remember, if there's anything in my readings that you don't like, all you have to do is choose to not let them come to fruition. And vice versa. If you do like something in my readings, choose that thing. Make that thing happen for yourself. Law of attraction and cleanse. If you want to call in these things to you, if you want to be a magnet to the energies that you desire, it was just 1919 on the clock. Again, yesterday's energy was the sun. They're saying, get it together, guys. Cleanse out your space. Do some cord cutting. Do some saging. Do some smoke cleaning. Some have a salt bath. I don't know, whatever it is. If you want to actually get this law of attraction into play, if you actually want to bring these things in to fruition that you're desiring, you got to clean out your space a little bit. You've got to clean out your mindset. There's something that needs to go. There's something that needs to go. We have a full moon coming up. we're working towards the full moon, and they are saying when that full moon comes, you better be ready to let go of a new set of things. And yes, that's what happens in full moons. Guess what? There's always more to let go of because we're constantly changing and evolving, which means that, yes, that means you have to constantly let things go, constantly acquire new tools and let go of the ones that are obsolete. I'm getting this vision of, it's like in a video game where you're a person that has a backpack, but you've got like a place where you've got lots of items in storage. Yeah, and you can go back to that place and switch out, like it's almost a realistic game, like it's like Metal Gear Solid, almost. Is I'm getting told Solid Snake, I believe was the guy's name. There's a my ex-boyfriend years and years ago when I was a teenager was obsessed over that game. He loved it because it was super realistic, right? This guy had to like trudge through the wilderness and he had a backpack, but he could only carry so much stuff. Otherwise he would get tired. It's like if he cut himself, he'd have to heal his wounds. You know, and if he ate something like a spider, it wouldn't be as nutritious as if he found a can of Spam. You know, it was like it's like this idea of you constantly update this backpack that you're carrying, and constantly update your toolbox. You have a place where you carry the greater arsenal of all your tools, but you're not carrying them all with you all the time. And you have to go back and put this hammer back and take that saw sometimes. You know, there's only so much you can carry at once. And it's about choosing the things that are appropriate for the situations that you're going into. Yeah, so yes, a new moon involves more release. Yes. And the full moon coming involves more release. And guess what? The new moon after that will involve more manifestation. And guess what? The full moon after that, more release. And after that, more manifestation. Release, manifest. Cycles. These are cycles that come up all the time. All right. This is Moon Mama Musings, my darlings. That's what we're trying to understand. All right. I will catch you later. I'm sorry for anything you're going through if I've made you feel a certain way. Thank you for being a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful being and lending your energy to this circuit that I hold so dear. Thank you equally to your guides, my guides, the Ascended Masters, angels, and whatever other energy have been involved in relaying this to us, these clear, concise messages for our greatest good. Whether it be right now in the near or distant future, whenever it is that we find this, as these readings are timeless, and if you find them even when this astrology makes no sense to where you are actually at. If you're finding this message, if it's popping up for you, if this video comes up in your feed, there's something in here for you. I love you to the moon and the stars and to infinity and beyond and back. And I accept this and I hope you do too. But if not, it's all good. Catch you next time. Bye.